You there, yes you. I'm teaching you how to make eggnog today. Watch and learn. Ingredients are simple. You need 6 eggs, half of a carton. You need milk. You need heavy whipping cream. You need granulated sugar. You need ground nutmeg, or you can actually grind it yourself. You need a liquid measuring cup and a non-liquid measuring cup. You need a bowl, because you're going to put the egg yolks in there. You need a saucepan that you can actually make the stuff in. You're going to need whisks. I have a silicone one as well because this is non-stick, and a normal one for the egg yolks, and then a ladle. And you need something to put the eggnog in, which I am using this giant jar that I have. You also need some sort of bowl to hold egg whites, because we're not using egg whites in this recipe, only yolks. First step is to separate the egg yolks into here and egg whites into here, 6 of them. I fucked up the first time, don't worry about it. There, 6 egg yolks. And a bunch of egg whites, which you can use for like meringue or something if you want to do that, which I may do at some point, but that's where I'm at. You next want to put half a cup of sugar into the egg yolks. I'm just going to add a little extra, so I don't think I was exactly right. And then you're going to want to whisk the fuck out of it. That is nice and whisked egg yolks with sugar. Next step is to mix the milk, cream, nutmeg, and a pinch of salt into a saucepan. Obviously extremely precise measurements going on here because it super matters. And by that I mean it doesn't matter fucking at all. You're making a custard, it's not that complicated. Then you're going to want to heat it up on medium heat. And you want to heat it until it's just barely starting to simmer. I'm going to skip ahead to the next step for the video. Since it's milk, do stir pretty often, otherwise it'll curdle. You really don't want that. So do stir it pretty often, but you want it to get to a barely simmer. Alright, we're at a barely simmer here. It hasn't really started, but if you let it sit, you can see some little bubbles starting to pop up. Which means that it is about to start simmering, which is exactly what we want. I tend to turn the heat down here, but you've got this hot milk. The next step is called tempering the eggs. Now, tempered eggs are eggs that aren't thrown directly into the pot, basically. You want to slowly make the eggs hotter so that there's no curdling problems or whatever. So what you do is you take like a ladle of this stuff, you put it into the eggs, you whisk vigorously. Until it's incorporated, then you add another ladle, and so on. Once a majority of the milk has been put into the eggs, you pour all the mixture back in, and then you turn the heat back up, and now I'm going to switch ladles, or whisks, to the silicone one, and now you're going to want to basically whisk constantly until it has just barely heated up. You're aiming for 160-ish degrees, but I find that if you go a little bit too far, it gets a little bit too thick. You're going to want to go until it really doesn't feel like it's quite done, because it will thicken a ton when you put it in the fridge. So you're just going to want to whisk it around here until it just barely thickens. So that's at about 160, which means it's pretty much done. It feels very not thick, right? Look at this. That feels like very thin eggnog. It's not sticking to the thing at all. I'll probably give it another minute or so here. But while I'm at it, I can add a little bit of vanilla. Generally, the recipes tend to call for a dash of vanilla. So I'll put a dash of vanilla in there, just to liven it up a bit. You can also add alcohol at this point. Generally, when you turn the heat off, you can add alcohol. I'm actually going to add a little more of this. Just a double teensy portion of vanilla. So now it's a little bit higher than the 160. It's at pretty much what the thickness that you want. It's just you feel a very barely it tugging on your whisk. So it doesn't need to stick to it or anything because it's going to thicken up a ton in the fridge. Now it also says to pour the eggnog into a jar or whatever through a strainer just in case. I'm going to do that off screen over the sink because it's going to be a disaster. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is eggnog. That's what this is. It's warm right now. Ouch. It was just on the stove. You put it in the fridge for like a day and we'll come back and try it tomorrow. Once it's in the fridge though, it will thicken up nicely and it will taste damn good. And there we have it. I may have drunk some already. Pour some. Yeah. Now that looks like eggnog. Oh my god. It's so good. It's better than store-bought. It's super easy to make. Highly recommend. It's damn good. Takes no time at all. Now you know how to make eggnog. Cheers.